any targets for a loudness unit full scale for
yeah. So
live streaming concerts?
So that's a great that's another great topic. And so when so there's two basic situations when you're doing broadcasting that you're dealing with, and especially if you're doing webcasting, this is where this really comes into play. The first one is that the encoder, the actual thing that's going to convert this thing and send it out to the web, is right next to you in the same room. So you're sending your signal straight from your mixing console, straight to embed into a video, straight into a box. So it's a known signal chain and you know what you're getting into. And in that situation, I want it as hot as I can get it, as close to zero as I can get away with, because I know there's no clipping point between me and the box because I'm sitting right next to it. So there's no place that this is going to get boosted and create a problem farther down the line. And so in that case, you know, in dB, you know, my targets can be minus 0.5. My LUFS level minus 12. Like, I mean, kind of is how hot can I get this? How much audio can I cram into this? Because a lot of people are going to be watching this on an iPhone, and I'm competing with a pre-processed, compressed YouTube video and a pre-processed and compressed TikTok and you know, all this other stuff. As soon as I'm not right next to the delivery mechanism, the rules change because I have to leave some headroom for the things that may be in between me and the final product. You know, and that's where minus 18, you hear that one as a number a lot. That's where that comes into play as a, you know, kind of a standard LUFS number. I mean, the other thing that I do with LUFS, and somebody actually says, talk about LUFS, and we keep saying LUFS like everybody knows what that is. Why don't you explain to us what LUFS is? And if you don't, then I will.
Please go ahead. I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry, I'm talking so loud that it's choking me up. I can talk quieter. You can still hear me. Again, skimming the surface, but LUFS is a relatively new loudness measuring system that kind of takes the overall signal as a whole and creates a measurement number off of it. So it's, you know, how much low end is there? What's the average signal peaks? Where are the peaks? Where are the valleys? And kind of takes all of that stuff, encapsulates it into one magic number, and then delivers that as, you know, your signal is at minus 18 LUFS or your signal is at minus 24 LUFS. It's really great because before we were kind of dealing with peaks, which were way up here, and averages were way down here, and kind of using our, you know, kind of guessing to get sort of where we don't want it to peak and clip, but we want the average to stay high. And so LUFS has answered a lot of those those problems. And it's kind of become a standard. So now, like, in fact, if you Google and go, you know, what's the LUFS standard for YouTube? There's a number. You know, what's the LUFS standard for, you know, Facebook Live? There's a number. And in most cases, if you deliver to them a signal that's significantly higher or lower than their standard, they're just going to move it through their processing to that standard anyway, because that's their standard loudness curve. But the thing that I do, again, this is just a general thing. If you're dealing with web streaming, this is just another LUFS related thing. What I concentrate more on than anything else is what am I putting into the system and what's coming out of the system. So I use Ulean loudness meters, which is a easy to find. I'm probably saying the name wrong because that's actually his name, but it looks like it's Youlean. So it looks like Ulean, but it's actually the developer's name, and I think it's Scandinavian or something. I'm butchering this. Sorry, Mr. Yulin. But anyway, great loudness meter tool that you can get online for a variety of different platforms. And the thing that it does that I really like is that it shows loudness over time.
Mhm.
So it actually gives you a time scale, again, with kind of peaks and valleys. So what I do is I set up one instance of Yulin in the embedded video signal leaving wherever the origination place is, studio, whatever. And then I have a computer that's watching that stream on the other end
Gotcha.
on a YouTube stream or a Facebook live stream or whatever it's being delivered on. And I run another instance of Yulin, same exact settings, same exact everything, to see what's coming out.
Mm.
And in general, I do that on the same computer or put them side by side. You know, one will be 45 seconds behind, but that time meter difference will show me, okay, I'm pushing in minus 15, it's coming out minus 18. I push in minus 12, it's still coming out minus 18. I push in minus 9, it's still coming. It's like they're going to, this is as high as it's going to get. So if I keep pushing this up, it's just pushing it into more YouTube compression and it's not helping. It's just making it sound worse. And I know to back off. And it's like, I may as well send minus 18 because that's what's going to be, coming out. So again, it's a way to kind of keep your reference point, or the opposite could be true. I'm sending way lower and it's coming out here. Well, that means they're adding a bunch of gain after the fact, and that's probably raising my noise floor. So the closer I can get to what's actually coming out, the hopefully more consistent it will be. All of the streaming platforms use various compression voodoo that they won't tell you what it is.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be something that changes from what you put in to what you get out. But at least this gives you an idea of the relativity of the two things.
No, that's great. I mean, you need the tools to know what you're doing, right? So I think that's great advice to monitor on both sides.